Hey everyone. We talk a lot about physical fitness, but what about training the most important part of us, our brain? Today we're diving into the science of how we can literally, intentionally rewire our own minds to lead a happier, more resilient life.
It all really kicks off with this one huge question. It's the question that basically drove the entire career of neuroscientist Dr. Richard Davidson. Why is it that some of us seem to bounce back from just about anything, while others really struggle? This question, right here, is at the very heart of everything we're about to unpack.
For the longest time, neuroscience was kind of obsessed with the negative stuff. Anxiety, fear, depression. But then, back in 1992, a conversation between the Dalai Lama and Dr. Davidson completely changed the game. The Dalai Lama just asked, hey, why not use all these powerful tools to study the good stuff? To study what goes right in our brains, like kindness and compassion. And that one question, well, it helped spark a revolution in the field.
And this whole shift from only looking at illness to finally studying wellness is only possible because of a truly revolutionary discovery about how our brains actually work.
That discovery is something called neuroplasticity. And what it means, in a nutshell, is that our brains are not fixed. They're not set in stone. They are constantly being shaped and rewired by our experiences, our thoughts, our environment. Literally every single moment of our lives.
But here's the catch, and this is so important. This shaping is happening all the time, whether we pay attention to it or not, and for most of us, most of the time it's happening unwittingly. We're basically just passive passengers while our habits and the world around us rewire our minds. And the cost of not being aware of this, it's staggering. In fact, Dr. Davidson's research points to 4 major crises of well-being in our society today, and each one really stems from this idea of having an untrained mind. Let's break them down. First up is distractibility. One landmark study found that the average American adult spends 47% of their waking life not paying attention to what they are actually doing. That is almost half of our lives just gone, spent on autopilot. And this isn't just about productivity. Not at all. The researchers came to a crystal clear conclusion. A wandering mind is an unhappy mind. When our attention drifts, our happiness plummets. We're not just dealing with a financial deficit in our country, we're smack in the middle of a national attention deficit.
Okay, crisis number 2 is a real paradox of our time: loneliness. We're more connected than ever, right? And yet 76% of middle-aged Americans say they feel lonely. And the physical cost is just shocking. Loneliness is more than twice as significant a predictor of an early death as obesity is.
The third crisis is the rise of depression and that negative voice in our heads. Just look at this trend. In only 3 years, diagnoses of major depression among women jumped by 33%. And we're seeing the same terrifying spikes among teenagers. These numbers just keep climbing.
And the fourth crisis? It's a loss of purpose. And listen, this isn't just some vague philosophical issue. It has very real, very serious health consequences. Research shows that for people in their 60s, having a low sense of purpose more than doubles the risk of dying within the next 5 years.
Those are the challenges. And I know, it sounds pretty grim, but the science doesn't just stop at diagnosing the problem. It actually offers a solution. The invitation here is that we can actually learn to move from just surviving to truly thriving. So let's look at the scientifically backed framework for how to do that.
This whole framework is built on 4 pillars, 4 skills that you can actually train. First is awareness. That's just being able to focus and really just know what your mind is up to. Second is connection, which is all about nurturing things like kindness and compassion. Third is insight. Now this one's about changing your relationship with your own mind, learning to see that critical inner voice not as the truth, but just as a thought passing by. And finally, purpose, finding a sense of direction and connecting what you do every day to that bigger meaning.
All right, so that's the what. But what about the how? How do we actually build these pillars up? How do we take the controls and intentionally start rewiring our own brains?
Well, it comes down to understanding 2 different ways we learn. On one hand, you've got declarative learning. That's learning about things, like, reading a book about kindness. But reading about it won't automatically make you a kinder person. For a real transformation, you need procedural learning. That's learning by doing. It's the huge difference between knowing honesty is a good thing and actually becoming an honest person through practice.
And if you're wondering if this stuff really works, well, the data is just incredible. In Dr. Davidson's research, they found that after just 7 hours of compassion training, that's less time than a single workday, they could see measurable, physical changes in the brain's circuits for positive emotion. So what does all this mean for you,
right now in your daily life? Well, the great news is you don't have to go on a silent retreat or meditate for hours and hours. It can all start with something much, much smaller.
I absolutely love this analogy. Think about it. When our species first showed up, none of us were brushing our teeth. It's not in our DNA. It's a learned behavior we do every day for our physical hygiene. The idea here is to start thinking about training your mind as a form of essential mental hygiene.
And the place to start could not be simpler. The recommendation? Just begin with 3 minutes a day. That's it. You can do it while your coffee is brewing in the morning, on your commutes, or, hey, even while you're brushing your teeth. It's all about finding these little moments and weaving them into the life you already have.
And the amazing thing is, this tiny, simple daily practice, it creates these huge ripple effects that go way beyond just you feeling better. Training our minds has been shown to reduce our unconscious biases. This deeply personal practice has the power to transform our communities.
Which leaves us with one final, powerful question to think about. We now know for a fact that we can intentionally shape our own minds for the better. So what else is possible? If you can change your mind, can you change the world?
Thank you for watching the video. If you like the content we make, press like and subscribe to our channel.